You finish a conversation, a normal one. Nothing stood out at the time. And then later, a single line comes back. Something you said, something they said, the way it sounded. You run it again, then again. You adjust what you would have said. You change the tone, you fix the timing. And even though the moment is over, it doesn't feel finished. This shows up in small moments: a quick exchange at work, a message you sent, a comment that landed slightly off. And it shows up in more personal ones too. A conversation where you held back, where something was said but not addressed, where the interaction moved on too quickly. On the surface, everything ended normally, but something in it didn't land cleanly, and that's what keeps returning. When a conversation feels complete, it disappears quickly. There's nothing to revisit. Your response made sense. The meaning is clear. It closes on its own. But when something is slightly off, your mind doesn't register it as finished. It holds it open. Usually it comes down to one of two things. You didn't say what you actually meant, or you're not sure what they meant. So the moment stays active, not as a memory, but as something unresolved. And unresolved things don't get stored the same way. They stay accessible, close to the surface. That's why it doesn't wait. You're doing something else, and it cuts in. Already halfway through a different version of the conversation, you're not deciding to think about it. It's already playing, with a cleaner response, a sharper tone, a version that feels more accurate. For a second, it works. It feels like you corrected it. But the original moment doesn't change, so the loop doesn't close. It resets, then runs again. Most of this comes down to timing. The moment moved faster than your ability to process it. You responded in real time, but understood it afterward. So now your mind is catching up, trying to align what happened with what makes sense to you now. It's not trying to relive the moment, it's just trying to complete it. This is why even small interactions can stick. It doesn't depend on how important the conversation was. It depends on whether it felt complete. A single sentence can stay with you if something about it didn't settle. Because your mind doesn't measure importance the same way you do. It tracks resolution, and anything unresolved stays open. So the replaying isn't random. It happens when something didn't land cleanly, when your response didn't match what you meant, or when the moment never fully resolved. Because there's a difference between something ending and something finishing. A finished moment settles. An ended moment stays open. And anything that stays open, your mind will return to until it doesn't have to anymore.